Shut up and sit down.
Let's go into it.
Yeah.
God damn, this couch is comfy. I'm so glad we changed this up. Welcome to Thinking Out Loud. I'm your host, Sam Bradley. We've had a change to the recording schedule. Ruben Miles Tighe of Port Erin will still be coming on, but he's going to be recording probably next week because he had a family thing today, which was sprung on him. So we decided, producer Lauren and I, who joins me.
Hello.
It's producer Lauren. We decided to go and review Spider-Man Homecoming. And just going to throw it up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very short review, and then I'm going to throw a huge spoiler warning up, and we are going to be dissecting the film. So if you haven't seen it, I'll make sure you know when to not listen. Okay, so first of all, to my mind, as a huge Spider-Man fan, it's an
Since you could walk.
Since I could walk. It's an 8 out of 10 movie. It's an 8.5 out of 10. It's probably, I don't think it'll be the best Marvel movie this year because they showed a trailer for Thor Ragnarok and oh my god, that looks awesome. But yeah, what do you think?
That's the Thor movie that everybody cares about.
That's the Thor movie that everyone finally cares about. So yeah, I mean, would you give Homecoming 8 out of 10?
The first thing that came to my mind when the film started was, oh, okay, they're throwing us straight in. I think it's actually gotten to that stage where the Marvel movie universe has just become that.
Yeah.
It's become what it is, that basically they throw you straight in, and it's kind of like they're saying, if you're not watching these by now, where have you been?
Yeah, I like that. There's a level of implied knowledge.
It's the first time that you don't actually know this Peter Parker's origin story. So,
well, you kind of bit by a spider.
Hopefully, you would think that everybody by now knows where Spider-Man came from and how he came to be. You would
what
hope.
What age we live in?
Well, you would hope that everybody going to see a Spider-Man movie would already kind of know how he becomes Spider-Man. Yeah. But so far, with Tom Holland's Peter Parker, they haven't actually done that.
I don't think they felt the need to. It's like with, there was a lot of faults to Batman vs Superman, but one of the things they laboured under was they did the Batman backstory, and I think at this point characters like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, you can drop straight in. They're so of the public zeitgeist, you don't really need to see an origin story. You know what the character's about. You know it's a young kid struggling with school and also being Spider-Man, so they didn't need to show the spy. They didn't need to show. They just dropped you in, like you were saying. It's just a universe you can be dropped into. True,
but even myself being, because obviously you've been reading comic books for years.
Mm-hmm.
The only Spider-Man comic book series I have actually read myself is Superior Spider-Man, which
what an arc!
Is a good read, very good read. But being a novice, I actually kind of caught myself thinking, oh, hang on, does he actually shoot the webs? Is that part of his biology, or did he create the technology to do it? Was he actually bit by the spider? I caught myself trying to think, hang on, how did this Spider-Man come into being?
But there's so many incarnations, like Tobey Maguire had the biological web shooters. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man didn't because they wanted to show him as more of a sciencey geek. They did that the second time round. Spoilers. Okay, here we go. We're going to throw up the spoiler warning right here because I can see we're getting into it. Yeah. So 3, 2, 1. If you haven't seen it, don't listen past this point. Okay, I think they're gone.
Yeah.
So, he's a bit more of a sciencey Spider-Man. He's really clever.
The Garfield one?
No, the new one, our one.
Oh, right, okay.
Tom Holland's one.
Yeah.
He's really clever, isn't he? He's super clever. He's not like a dorky sort of Tobey Maguire, fish out of water. He's still in school, and he goes to some, tech college, I think.
Yeah. He's massive computer science nerd.
Yeah.
He's on the, it's not a debate team, he's on a...
man. They're like a pop quiz team, like an academic team.
Yeah, an academics team. He was in band, but he's dropped band for obvious reasons. Because,
8-legged reasons.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, there's just something about this Spider-Man that's just so different in comparison to the other ones. Now, I actually haven't seen... I'll throw my hands up now and I'll say I haven't actually seen the Garfield movies.
You are not missing
all the way through. Well, each to their own. I think a lot of people might disagree, would maybe disagree with you, but a lot of people do. Also, it was the first Spider-Man movie without a kiss. I've just realised.
Oh, what, this Homecoming?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets really close a lot of times, but messes it up.
Yeah.
Which we
because he's a kid. Finally.
He is, yeah, he's 15.
He's such a kid.
It's like Ultimate Spider-Man. The arc that got me into Spider-Man was the Ultimate Spider-Man series, where he's hella young. He's at school for ages in those comic books.
Yeah.
And, he's a child, and I think you can really wrestle with the Spider-Man versus Peter Parker, the boy.
Mm.
And I like that countenance because he's hanging out with Tony Stark and he's fighting grown-ups.
Yeah.
You know, they're bad men.
Yeah. There's a bit more of a weighty responsibility because with the past Spider-Man movies, they basically go through this transformation and they find out their powers and their abilities and the extent of their abilities.
And that's the movie.
On their own. That's the movie. Whereas in this, Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man has, he's got these powers and he has, for the past 8 years, grown up in a universe where the Avengers exist. Yeah. He has people to idolize. He has people to, powers to aspire to. A level of power to aspire to. So he actually has somebody to look up to in comparison with the other Spider-Man who didn't act... Spider-Man. Who
it's a family name.
Who didn't have anybody to look up to.
Yeah, because they were alone in that
all
world.
On their own.
But that's nice, and we should say now, there's a lot of people concerned because we've seen the trailers. I actually stopped watching the trailers about 2 weeks ago because I didn't want to see any more.
I don't think there was anything different in the movie.
No, Robert Downey Jr. isn't in it too much. That was a concern. What if it's just an Iron Man movie with Spider-Man? No, it's still a Spider-Man movie. Yeah. It's still a Spider... Robert Downey Jr. is there when he needs to be. But otherwise, he floats around. He's this floating presence. He's like the dad figure in it.
Yeah. He's the mentor.
To the point where, Peter actually... He has this tracker in his suit and he disables it and then he gets his ass kicked and then he jumps in and there's the scene from the trailer. If you're nothing without that suit, you shouldn't have it. Oh, what a line. Yeah. I wish I hadn't seen it before. But, what a line.
Yeah.
The boat scene is incredible. That's when Iron Man jumps in the most. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go through the movie. So it starts with... Oh, God, how does it start? It starts with... You're introduced to these characters.
It starts off with, again, more consequence of the Battle of New York.
Which is nice.
Which I love.
Love that.
Because there are real-world consequences to what superheroes do, and I love that they actually are still touching on that. They don't just stop the evil, destroy a bunch of buildings, and then everybody's happy. There are real-world consequences.
Looking at you, DC, Warner Brothers. Real-world consequences. We were introduced to the characters. They're a cleanup crew, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's Michael Keaton is there as Adrian Toomes. Mm-hmm. Although obviously Spider-Man fans already know that Adrian Toomes is the Vulture. And they get shunted off this job, and he sort of says, "Well, we'll take some of this alien kit with us." And the Tinker's in there. We get a real good dummy on the Shocker. There's two Shockers in this movie. There's the first one who's walking around with a Shocker gauntlet with like the yellow sleeve jacket from the cartoon. I thought, he's my man, he's my Herman Schultz. He gets fucking disintegrated about half an hour in and replaced by a new ethnically diverse Shocker. He's a black guy. And I say that because within the universe, within the Midtown Institute of Technology, I think that's the college he goes to, it's a much more real view of New York. Mm-hmm. In terms of the people at the school. There's a much more diverse cast. There's, you have people of all races, Hispanic and whatever else. And it's not just a school. Remember the school in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? It was just white kids that are all at 30 because they were, and Spider-Man was like 40. Yeah. No, it's a really good universe. So we get to see Peter at school, but also being Spider-Man.
It's a Peter Parker upgrade. It's not Jeezy Pete's Peter Parker anymore.
They've really done well. They've brought the Ultimate storyline to life. If you're a fan of that arc or anything that follows, you will love this movie because it's so modern, it's so relevant. Yeah. But it's fun. It's so much fun.
And he is excitable and he is cocky, which again to a fault, and that comes in later. Yeah. But he's not. I suppose he's not cocky to a fault. He is just so eager to prove himself.
Yeah.
because he's so small at school, but again, he's not alone, he has friends.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to be like Iron Man, I want to be like Captain America or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know, these kids have grown up, you know, idolising these people, and yeah, it's it just, you know, jumps straight into all the secret keeping.
Yeah.
The girl that he likes but will never get, you know.
Hey, it's deep cuts, it's Liz, it's not even Gwen.
No.
It's Liz. So there you go.
This is where I sort of go quiet now, because
Liz is like...
I've been to see a few superhero movies with you now, most of them Marvel.
Yeah.
And it's so entertaining just watching you sometimes during these movies.
I get so into it.
Because somebody will say a line, it could be the most normal
the most
line in the
incongruous
world,
things.
and then but they'll say one thing, and then I can actually see at the corner of my eye your face contort with excitement.
There's
because
so
they've
many
made
Easter
a comic
eggs.
because they've made a comic book reference.
And there's so many Easter eggs in this. There's okay, so Peter Parker's principal is an elderly Asian guy. He has a picture in his office of the Howling Commando from the Asian Howling Commando from the first Avenger with Captain America. Great link.
So they've actually gone for Descendant there.
They've gone for Descendant.
Oh wow!
I don't know as the MCU is saying that all like Asian guys are related, but I think it's just a nice link. Mac Gargan is in this movie, the Scorpion, and he features in the post-credit sequence. Mac Gargan's in it. They're possibly setting up the Sinister Six. The Tinker is in this. Shocker, as I've said, is in this. The Vulture is in this. He sort of gets his wings taken off him at the end, but he's still Vulture and he's still alive. They're setting a whole lot of stuff up.
There's one character that I sort of got that team. There was one character that I didn't get, so you're going to have to help me with this one. Donald Glover obviously has a role in this.
He's not Miles Morales, sorry. But he is in the universe, so who knows what they could do with that in the future.
You reacted when he said he had a nephew in the area.
Well, yeah, because I thought he might be Miles Morales, because I was on the high of seeing Donald Glover in a Spider-Man movie. What the hell? Don't just put the tip in, Marvel. God damn.
Yeah.
So where do we go next? We see him, and then he's hanging out with Spider-Man at the beginning, with Iron Man at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, this is literally just after Berlin.
Yeah.
When
just
they
after the events of Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War. They have the battle at the airport with such an amazing scene with Ant-Man, Widow, Panther, everybody.
Everybody's there.
Oh,
but you see it from Spider-Man's perspective. He's making like a vlog.
He's making a vlog on his phone, and that's such a good idea.
It's a good way to recap. It's a really good framing device. See that film term? Framing device.
So Tony's dropping him off after the big fight in Berlin, and now Peter considers himself an Avenger. He thinks he's done that. He's done this first mission.
Yes.
So he's like, okay, when's my next one?
Yeah.
Because I can just ditch school now. He thinks he's going to be an Avenger and that's it. But then he just gets kind of left at school.
Sorry about that.
And he gets really, really restless, and so he has to become your friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man. And
in Iron Man's own words.
And you actually get to see him interacting with his neighbourhood.
Which is cool, which we love, because he doesn't always have to be Green Lantern or Doc Ock or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I really like that. I love that they got that in, obviously, but we saw that in the trailer as well. Again, not too happy about that. But it's still got, you get to see him be Spider-Man. And he takes several swings. I mean, the Vulture keeps popping up. They go on the field trip to Washington, and the Vulture follows them there, and shit goes down. And then, he gets a few swings at the Vulture before he messes it. Like, he goofs up a lot.
Yeah.
We see him get his ass kicked. I think he only wins, like, 2 or 3 fights in the whole film, and it's an action-heavy film. It's just short of 2 hours.
Yeah.
He's constantly getting his ass kicked. But I guess that's part of the journey, isn't it? And then, at the end, when there's a whole big thing, which we won't actually ruin the joke at the end, where Tony Stark takes his
I
head.
know.
We won't ruin that, because we want to leave you some things. We want to leave you some stuff. If you're like a masochist and you've gone into this having not seen it. What the hell was I saying? Iron Man, he gets his ass kicked a lot. But then, it's sort of, you really feel him learning along with it. It's a really human film, like you're really inside the suit with him. Which is something that actually a lot of people said about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, is when he's talking to Green Goblin on top of the Bugle building, you can't see either of their mouths, it's just like action figures. Yeah. And then they put a camera inside Tony Stark's helmet and everyone was like, oh, that's how you do that.
Yeah.
But they've really focused on, like, he takes the mask on. There's a lot of him taking the mask on and off, so it's the real connection between him and the character. So you can sort of feel him. The suit is the best suit we've ever seen him in.
It is. I think so too. Also, I loved how, I mean, because you always see the hero when he's in his, civvy clothes, running and rip the shirt, and you see the S or the spider or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But this time you actually see him try to change in the alley, and it's really clunky.
Yeah, it's really
messy.
clunky.
It's like, what if it was actually like that? Well, it wouldn't be like that for Clark Kent because he's Superman. But,
Exactly, he's super quick.
But quick changes.
Yeah, but it's good. It's a human. I remember when
it humanises him.
Yeah, we had Toby on the show quite a while ago, and we both talked about how it was just great to see that suit go on, that button that he clicks and it shrinks to your side. Mm-hmm. Of course, that's how it works. It makes perfect sense. We're seeing the nuts and bolts. Marvel really showing you how the universe works to make it bigger.
Yeah.
So they go to Washington. The scene from the trailer where he saves the elevator full of kids is in there. Liz is in there. And then he sort of gets grounded, kind of, and then gets the suit taken off him, because immediately following that is the boat scene that you've seen. And it's every bit as good and cool as you've seen in the trailer, but I just wish I hadn't seen it in the trailer. But then he gets the suit taken off him. If you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it.
Best line.
Yeah, again, wish I hadn't seen it in the trailer. But then he gets to kick ass, finally. And he goes after the Vulture, and there's a huge reveal, 1, 2, 3. In this universe, maybe it's something out of the comics, I don't think so, I've never read it.
Right.
The Vulture, Adrian Toomes, is Liz's dad. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming.
Peter Parker turns up at the house to pick her up for the homecoming dance, and Adrian Toomes is there, not knowing Peter for who he is, until they're in the car. Answers the door. Gut punch.
Yeah.
Take us through that scene where they're in the car.
Oh, God. Well, it's... Because obviously, Peter Parker, he is freaking out. He's barely said a word since he's realised who Liz's dad is. It gives a whole lot more weight to being afraid of a girl's father when you pick her up for the prom.
He's a scary looking dude as it is.
And they're in the car and they arrive at the prom, and gradually during conversation Liz lets slip, Peter wasn't in the elevator. Peter wasn't at the thing in Washington. He disappeared. 1 and 2 get put together, and
Peter's always running off.
Keaton figures it out and tells...
He's the world's greatest detective.
He is. Tells Liz to get out of the car because he has to give Peter the dad talk.
Dad talk?
Which has probably got to be the scariest dad talk before prom.
He's a terrifying dude.
At gunpoint.
Yeah.
Basically tells him, we can, I know now that you saved my daughter's life, we can forget about this. Go into the prom, or I should stop saying prom, it's actually homecoming. Like, I don't know if there's a massive difference.
It's like...
Any American listeners, is there a difference?
Probably. It's
Please
kids in dresses, right? And limos and shit. Anyway, he goes into prom.
After the dad tells him, you just let this all go, because if you don't, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill everybody you love.
You know that bit you've seen in the trailer? Carry on.
So, yeah, but he doesn't... For a minute there, you think he's going to try and go through the dance, but he doesn't even stop. He just runs straight through. And... You do, because we've seen so many, Spider-Man movies where, they do try to, they try to juggle a love life and do the Spider-Man thing, but he is just trying to do the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah. Because he's a kid.
And then there's the final showdown, but of course he doesn't actually have his suit. Fortunately,
he has the Scarlet Spider suit, which is dope. That one with the hoodie, so cool.
But he also has Ned, his friend.
Ned is in this. Racially diverse Ned. He's Asian and everything. It's great. He gets to be his... What does he call it? The chairman.
Yeah.
The guy with the screens.
Yeah.
I'll be surrounded by screens feeding you information about blueprints and shit.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Who else is in this? Who else from the world is in this? Captain America's in it quite a bit. In those videos that they wheel out in the gym, like the one you've seen in the trailer. God damn. But there's loads of those. They're really, really funny.
Stay in school videos.
Stay in school videos.
Don't do drugs videos.
So you've been in detention, kids. I'm Captain America. And he leans across and he goes, I stole the shield.
Yeah.
That's so good. I stole the shield. Yeah, Aunt May as well. Marissa Tomei's Aunt May that everyone wants to hit on.
Yeah.
Tony Stark's
I
recording
don't
a
know
vlog
about
about how he wants
that,
to bone Aunt May.
Because you get so used to Aunt May being, I don't know, kind of...
Yeah.
Werther's original grandmotherly.
The woman who played her in the original, I don't know.
I don't know her name.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly
You're
what
not
you mean.
Superman, you know.
And this is...
Hot Aunt May.
And
Marissa
this is
Tomei.
a movie where not once do they mention Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
Shout out Doug Walker. But,
yeah, no one says the words Uncle Ben in this movie, which is good.
Yeah.
You've got to move on sometimes.
But again, I wasn't really quite. I'm going to say into Aunt May. When I say into Aunt May, I'm not talking about into Aunt May.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't really into this characterization of Aunt May at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then
She has a pair of very round spectacles that lend her a certain age and wisdom, I think.
I get. Well,
They have a wall of books.
She wasn't wearing them the whole time though.
No, true.
But
When she takes them to the party and Ned's wearing that white fedora hat.
Yeah.
He's too big for it. She says, "Yeah, you wear some hats wear men. You wear that hat, Ned."
Yeah.
Or maybe the other way around, but it's
Something
great.
like that. But I actually started to enjoy her a lot more when Peter he's just had the suit taken away from him.
Yeah.
And he goes home and he's tearing up because he's just heartbroken because obviously he knows that he has messed up his chance to be in the Avengers.
Yeah.
All she knows is that he's been missing all day and that he
the Stark internship, that's his cover. He says he's on an internship at Stark Enterprises.
She's been calling him. She called police stations. So finally we get to see a little bit more maternal stuff from her.
Yeah.
And that was a very touching moment, because he is a kid and he does get scared and he does get sad.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot about that they sort of changed it. They did make her cooler, but she's still his aunt. Because he doesn't even call her Aunt May, does he? He calls her May.
Yeah.
Which I guess is modern or some shit. I don't know, maybe I'm a traditionalist.
But it's, Tony Stark just still has to make a few passes at her at some point.
Oh yeah, and the guy, like everyone, like that creepy old guy in the deli that gets blown up.
Yeah.
Remember that? How's your aunt?
How's your aunt?
Oh, and he speaks Italian. This Spider-Man speaks Italian. Or whatever the
and
language
Spanish.
is. Is it Spanish?
He's the smartest kid in school.
He is. He's a spot. Oh, Mary Jane! Okay, 3, 2, 1 spoilers. Mary Jane is in this, but you'll sort of know it, but you won't know it because they changed the name. Mary Jane is now a Hispanic girl called Michelle. And right at the end she says, my friends call me LJ. Not LJ. MJ, shit, whoops. And it's such a fantastic moment. It's just the perfect payoff to that moment. It was really good. But it's that shit that you go to Marvel, and that's why Marvel have done a great movie and Sony haven't. And Sony have really played well and gambled well, given them the rights back, let them make this movie, reinvigorate the character. They're going to make a second one. Kevin Feige at Marvel came out and said he wants to make Tom Holland's Spider-Man the Iron Man of Phase 4, if you know what I mean. They're going to hang a lot of world building on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And
well, they already did a lot of that with this.
There is a lot of world building, but as around the thing they're going to throw characters at him, so you could see I don't know, Ant-Man and Spider-Man fighting crime. It's fantastic. It's a really great movie. I know we'll wrap it up. We won't do too long.
Yeah.
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 It's a great movie. You should really go and see it. It opened today. We're recording this, haven't seen it at midnight, basically.
Yeah, surprisingly, not a lot of people in the theatre there. I think they might have gone to see the earlier viewings.
Or the 3D.
Come on, people, it is Wednesday evening.
Yeah, for sure. No, I get that. But I had like 3 different dates for this. I thought it was out on the 7th. I'd seen some marketing that said it was out on the 6th.
And the 8th,
and
yeah.
whatever the fuck. But we saw it on opening night. You should check it out. There is 2 post-credit sequences. One really early and one late on.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to say. This has been Thinking Out Loud. Quick review. Thank you, producer Lauren, for jumping in.
Do we quickly want to talk about Justice League, the trailer?
Joss Whedon's in charge. It looks like it might be barely watchable. There. Justice League.
Has to beat Wonder Woman.
Like, listen, share and subscribe.